up?
We are going to be making another fun block for our Color Burst quilt. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so this one is called a 9-patch block.
Okay.
Kind of says exactly what it is. There's 9 squares in this block. So what I always recommend after you've cut all these out is before you start doing any sewing, you lay it out. You make sure exactly how you want it to look. So in your instructions, we've given you a picture of how you're going to have your blocks lay out. So right here's your picture. So I'm going to let you take those blocks and I'm going to have you lay them out on there. Do you remember what color we picked as our main?
Purple.
Purple is your main. So that's the one that you are going to use in all 3 of your blocks. Okay, so he's got an extra row or extra block here. Toss it to the side. Don't want to get that in there mixed up. Okay, so you're going to sew these together.
All right.
We're going to do what we call piecing. Okay. So instead of sewing 2 blocks together, stopping, cutting, do the next 2, you're going to piece them. So what I like to do is take them and lay them exactly how I'm going to piece them. So if I just laid it like that, and then I picked it up and took it over to the machine, I may not remember which sides I'm sewing together. Okay, so as I lay it, I always put my pins on the side that is going to be sewing. Okay. That way, when I get it over to the machine and I went and got me a drink and a bite to eat and I come back, I don't forget which ones are in what place, okay? So then we're going to do the same thing here. Just like that. Do that on all 3 rows. So I'm going to sew these 2 together. Not going to cut the thread or anything. I'm going to do these and these. Then they're in 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and do that. Start with sewing that top 2 together. And these, once again, good job. You are going to lock that. We want to make sure we lock that stitch because that's on an outside seam. We definitely don't want that coming undone. So you can lock it right there, but I don't want you pulling it out and do it. Keep going. And I'm going to show you a trick. So now you're going to take your next one and you're just going to feed it right in there. You shouldn't have to like lift your foot or anything. It should just start feeding right in there. Now this you don't necessarily have to lock because you already have a chain going. So that chain has already locked it. It's up to you. You can do it either way. Some people like to lock it every time. Some people like to use that chain as their lock. And then you're going to do that same technique with your 3rd piece. So this is called chain piecing. You can do rows and rows of this. If you have a whole 20, 30 pieces to put together, you can just keep doing that. And then you'll clip them apart afterward. And that one you want to lock because you don't have any more in your chain. So you're going to lock that end one. And then you can pull that whole string out and bring it over here. So you know which one's your bottom and which one's your top?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Open them up. Just like that. Make sure everything's right. You got it.
Sweet.
So now, some people like to keep them chained. I don't. I like to cut these apart here just because it's a little bit easier for me to maneuver. Okay? So now, do the same idea like we did on the first. You're going to take that purple, flip it over, pin it in place.
Alrighty.
Some people, when they get really good at this, they don't even pin. Believe it or not. I haven't got that good.
That's not me yet.
So you're going to go ahead and pin those right in place.
I'm just learning how to pin.
Exactly. Hey, there's a technique to it too. Okay, so remember how we talked in the beginning about accuracy? If you're accurate on all your things, it's going to make it easier in the end. I'm going to show you one little tip. What do you think I'm going to show you?
Something
See right here?
Not being accurate.
Okay. That's what? Maybe a 1/16 of an inch.
Yeah.
And you're going, no big deal, right? 16, it's not going to make a difference. Multiply that times 10 blocks.
It's a lot.
It's a lot at the end, right? So what happens is if you just pull that down a little bit, get it right there the first time, and have it nice and accurate. You're not going to have to deal with it in the end by trying to adjust it. Does that make sense?
That does.
Perfect. So you just want to always be accurate right from the beginning because it's harder to adjust it at the end than to do it right in the beginning. Okay?
All right, so we
You
got it
those?
there.
And this is your last one.
This one.
Yeah. And sometimes it might just be your cutting. It might, you just may have been off a little bit on your cutting. So if you just center it and you're only off a thread on the top and a thread on the bottom, much easier than trying to adjust it in your sewing. Okay, good job. So now you're going to do the same idea. Take them over, chain piece them. You're even getting more accurate on that 1/4 inch. Look at that. Staying right on the line now.
Always improving.
And you know, another tip I'm going to tell all of you guys out there, if you're having a hard time staying along with that guide, draw it. Take your marker, take your ruler, and just draw a 1/4 inch line and follow that with your needle. Sometimes that's a little easier to adjust to following that than it is trying to use your foot or the markings on your machine. And there's no shame in doing that. If you're having a hard time with accuracy, do what's going to be the easiest for you. So this one's a little trickier on our ironies and our pressing. So after we get done with this sewing it, we're going to take it over to the pressing table and give you a couple of tips on how to press these to make them lay nice.
All right.
Remember which one's your top. Good job.
And then just cutting them apart.
Yep, I just cut them apart. Okay, so we're going to take the first top one over to the pressing table. Okay, let's take your top. Yeah, let's just always work from the top. So do you remember the press towards the dark tip?
Yes.
So I want you to press towards the top. Now this one you could actually just turn right over. Look at it this way. You can see where your dark is and just press it to the dark, making sure you have it nice and even. There you go. Awesome. Just pressing it. Just hold it down there until it sets and do the other side. Same way. Okay.
Alrighty.
Bring that back over and lay it down. And this is where the trick comes in. So your next one, you're going to press to the dark.
Okay.
Take that center one and do the same idea. And you'll notice your seams are going the other way. What's that going to help do?
Make it lay better.
It's going to help make it lay better. Exactly. Your seams are going to lay really nice because they're going to nestle into each other instead of going in the same direction. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so now you're going to take this top one and you're going to lay it right on top of here. And if you look how those just butt and nestle. Perfect.
Sweet.
Perfect. Take your pins. Now pin that right in place. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is you're going to just sew right down along that seam.
Alrighty.
Okay, we're going to bring that over. We don't have to press that yet. Go ahead and bring that over. Oh, what happened?
Oh no.
But you're okay. You just have that turn. Flip it around.
Oh, I was like, that doesn't look quite right.
No. I couldn't have blown it that bad. There you go.
Alrighty.
Now you can put that one on top there, pin it in place, and sew there. Good job. There's nothing worse than coming over and seeing that and going, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong.
Bamboozled.
So you can just, with your finger, make sure that's nestled in there nice. Perfect.
Sweet.
You're getting good at that pinning. Look at that. So if you guys are making these blocks and they don't match up perfect and they don't come out exactly what you want, it is okay to get a seam ripper, tear it out. It's not the end of the world, and redo it. Okay? A lot of times people get to that and they get discouraged. They're like, I don't want to want to keep going. It didn't match up perfect. It is okay. We don't expect perfection on your first try and things like this. So take your time, do the best you can, and enjoy it. But if you have to, it is okay to take it apart and redo it. And of course, on this one, you've got both colors on your block. So there is no color that you're pressing to. A lot of times on a 9 patch, you want to press your seams in. So if you want to flip it over and look, you'll just press them both in. Yeah. That way, if you have to match up other ones, then you can match them up, the ins and the outs, if that makes sense. So no, you're going to leave that like it is. Don't worry about it. That one just kind of turned itself. But what you're going to do is press this guy all the way in and this guy all the way in.
Alrighty.
Because you're left-handed, it may be easier just flip your block rather than trying to go backwards. There you go. Because to me, it's easier from that side to push them in. Okay. Hey, look at that. You did it.
Woohoo.
High five.
Boom.
Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
It is. It's looking great. So you're going to do 2 more of these.
Okay.
You know, and like I said, your purple is going to remain the same. So whatever color you choose as your main is going to remain the same. These are going to change. So you're going to pick different for these on all of your blocks, all 3 of those. So you have completed 2 blocks. Look at this. I'm going to pull this one over. Amazing. We've got 2 blocks done. And we have 1 more to go. And then you're going to be ready to put a quilt together.
There we go.
All right. Good job. Okay. Thanks for joining on this one. And we will meet you back here to do our pinwheel block.